So recently, there have been 3 major trailers that have come out for the Star Wars franchise. We have Andor.
4.
Okay, what's
but
the
that
fourth?
one didn't come out.
Which one is
the Ahsoka one? But you saw that, right?
Okay.
They had a Mando trailer come out, but I couldn't find a good recording of it.
Yeah,
but we can still. It basically kind of frames Bo-Katan as the
villain,
and him going back to Mandalorian like that.
Okay. But yeah, so there's some major trailers that came out. We have a leak for you. This video may get taken down because of that. But,
we'll put some watermarks on it and see what happens and like the audio a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. So essentially, we have the Jedi Fallen Order sequel. We have Andor's trailer, and we have the Bad Batch, and then of course Ahsoka, which didn't officially come out, but we have the video. Anyway. I'm actually really excited to see the Bad Batch. I'm really excited to see the new video game coming out, and I'm really excited to see Andor. And all 3 of those really play on cloning. They really do. Even Andor, like, you're like, why? Like, it seems like they're doing something with cloning, and it seems like it has something to do with that.
It for sure has to do with Imperials and espionage and Mon Mothra being like, they're watching me everywhere. This is much more of a... Andor is, like... more full-on espionage as opposed to Rogue One, which I love Rogue One, but it wasn't like... It was like espionage inspired. This is like straight up an espionage show.
Yeah, and then...
the trailer did a great job of changing me from not giving about it to being like, this looks good.
Yeah, I honestly was like, how could this even play into the storyline? And now it actually makes sense, and I think that in that show, they're going to go towards, cloning and everything.
I think they straight up actually had a shot on the Camino facility in the trailer. I think someone was walking at a Camino facility, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember that specifically, but it'll be on screen. But it's all pretty dope to see like the whole aspect that they're getting to, because again, what we saw in the Jedi Fallen Order trailer was they were heavily focused on this girl in
this cloning
vat. Yeah, and then on top of that, you have in Bad Batch, like the fact that they still want Omega so fucking bad. Why would they want to clone that bad? There's something about Omega that, is special that they still want about Omega.
Yo, speaking of Bad Batch, my man Gunji's still alive, the little Jedi Wookiee. I was really excited to see him.
I'm really hyped, dude. That trailer looks significantly better than the first season. The first season was a good intro. The really only good part was linking, Rebels, of having Kanan's younger self in it. That was pretty cool, and obviously seeing the storyline between Crosshair
and Hunter.
Yeah, that was really cool. But again, I think they're all dead by the time of Mandalorian, but I could be wrong.
You never know. Yeah, we all thought Ahsoka was dead.
Yeah,
I definitely was like making it out of Rebels, and then she did.
Yeah, so I'm hyped overall with everything going on. The new Fallen Order fucking trailer. We're gonna see more Inquisitor action. Well, it's not Fallen Order. It's what Survivor,
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, Jedi. I think it's kind of a whack name, but they tried.
Oh, speaking of that game takes place the same year as Obi-Wan. Apparently,
yeah,
it takes place 5 years after the first game.
Look, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The fact that they have a guy playing,
who's an actor,
who's a legitimate actor, who's been in numerous series, films, whatever. The fact that he's in the video game, he will be live action. I feel like
that'd be a fucking waste.
Exactly. Like, again, yeah, not everyone fucking plays video games, but Star Wars fans play video games, and it's going to be in the community, and people are going to talk about it. So
at the very least will watch like the cutscenes of the game.
Exactly.
And it's a very good game. It has an actually interesting, good storyline and really good gameplay. Actually,
yeah, I mean, because he's an actor. He's acting like there's an actual storyline. That's what those games are. It's not like Battlefront where you're like shoot him up, kill him, TDM, search and destroy. It's not that shit. It's literally like an authentic storyline.
That's canon.
Exactly, that's fucking canon. So this dude is gonna be live action. So I'm so excited for that. I'm excited for the Bad Batch because of continuing that storyline and the cloning storyline, which will make the new trilogy make sense. Because again, inventing Palpatine on set was having Snoke be as powerful as he is and just die off in like 5-10 minutes of screen time.
I wish they didn't kill him off so soon, but I did like that fight, and I did like his death scene.
Yeah, well,
cool. That was the best part about that.
It makes sense, but I'm just saying for someone to be that strong,
yeah,
like where he just like lifts you two up, takes your sabers, and is like I can snap your neck right now, and then for him to just die off, it's like I want to see him fucking go off. Like I want to see him Vader people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's especially with like them working towards cloning as a whole. I definitely think that we could see Snoke later after the Mandalorian in like a film and or a series where he's actually seen and actually a villain and people are scared of him to build up towards the new trilogy.
Oh, and speaking of things that are obviously all building towards cloning, and didn't Thrawn play a role in that whole thing, like the cloning of Palpatine? And then
well, he had his hands in everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like he's top of the top
dude.
Yeah, he's the top of the top.
Yeah. He's probably the smartest non-Force user within the Empire. Easily, I feel like. Okay,
so question. Do you think with Thrawn going to eventually make his appearance, because Ezra's going to be live action?
That whole Ahsoka show is the search of Ezra and by extension Thrawn.
Exactly. So do you think that in a Thrawn movie, which again is going to be like the next big movie, in the sense of like that storyline. I'm not saying it's going to be the next one that comes out or whatever.
You mean the next movie in general or next big movie?
Next big movie for like what Mandalorian is building.
Okay,
to.
Gotcha.
Do you think that we would possibly see like Snoke in that movie?
Ooh. I think at the very least you will get hints of being like, yeah, Thrawn helped Palpatine help make clones and the being Snoke.
Look, here's my reasoning behind it. If we're really super focused, hyper focused on cloning, you have Bad Batch, you have even the end of the like season 7 Clone Wars, you have like that whole build up and talking about like the chips and shit. You have Fallen Order and you have Andor, and we also might Obi-Wan's currently airing and we might see that shit in Obi-Wan as well.
Cloning?
So aspects of it in the sense of like hinting towards
there's definitely an aspect of clones in the first 2 episodes.
I'm not necessarily saying clones. I'm saying in the sense of like cloning of the fact of like Palpatine and creating that. I'm just saying with that background and what everything's like building towards and what everything's looking like, I'm just like they have to introduce. I feel like the next big movie has to introduce like Snoke to be like the big bad, to be like the ruler that's like behind it all, putting it together for the return of Palpatine.
Yeah. I think at the very least, like I said, at the very least it's going to be, he definitely had a role in it, but seeing Snoke on screen, like in a little incubator as like a fetus or whatever, that would actually be pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying.
And Thrawn was the one who was overseeing it all. That would be great.
We already do remember there is that one cloning vat that we don't know what's in it. Remember it was in Mandalorian.
Yeah, there was just a bunch of strange creatures.
Yeah, and we were like, what are those? What are those? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I really think that that's what we're building to is like, obviously Thrawn, he's going to make an appearance. Ezra's going to make an appearance. But I think we're going to build to a movie that's going to set up the like Rogue One did with setting up the plans for the Death Star, right? I think it's gonna be a movie that sets up the new trilogy before Rey.
I hope that's
to like strengthen that storyline.
I genuinely hope that's Kevin Feige's movie because he's still supposed to be making a movie for Star. Actually, Michael Waldron is writing it now. He's finally like officially stated, yes, I'm working on the movie. So maybe that'll be the 2025 movie because Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron is just delayed indefinitely, and Taika Waititi's movie comes out next winter, actually, winter 2023.
Yeah, I mean, look, they have a lot of stuff that they're working on. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, this movie's gonna come out anytime soon.
No. That's why I was asking you next big movie or next movie.
No. I think it's gonna be like they're gonna finish Bad Batch, they're gonna finish Obi-Wan, they're gonna finish Andor. We're gonna be able to revisit this and come back and be like, this is where they're probably going, especially with like the video game, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna have a better idea, but I think that's where they're going with everything.
I agree.
What'd you think about the Ahsoka trailer?
I fucking loved it, even though they didn't show much.
I mean, they showed Ahsoka.
They lengthened her Linku, so I appreciated that. It wasn't by a lot, but I could still notice it. Fucking Hera's back. That was great to see. So it's gonna pretty much be like
they're gonna find
they're picking up right off where Rebels left off.
Yeah. Oh, are we gonna see the what's the dude?
Zeb?
We're gonna see him live action.
Probably.
That'll be
I
hype.
feel like I think we have seen his kind in live action before, if I'm not mistaken.
I
I
don't
think it was as a
remember it.
cameo.
Oh. Well, look, man, I'm just saying with the Ahsoka trailer, that's a vibe. Like, I'm really glad that we're finally gonna see that live action. What I really want to see though is more lightsaber action.
Yes.
Like, again, for people that haven't watched the Clone Wars, if you're looking for like lightsaber action, that is like the
that is
most.
the epitome of
It is Star Wars. That is what Star Wars is. All right, that you see lightsaber battles, you see, full on grand scale war with lightsabers in it. So I mean, you haven't watched it already. Watch it.
You're doing yourself a disservice. Some of the best stuff with like Darth. If you were curious how Darth Maul survived, that show answers that question.
Exactly, and
God, it
the
was so
best
great.
lightsaber fight, in my personal opinion, the best lightsaber fight ever done in Star Wars film is Ahsoka versus Darth Maul
at the end of season 7.
In the end of season 7. I don't think I've seen anything better than that since.
No, I was gonna say the only thing that could probably come close to it in animation would be Ahsoka versus Vader in Rebels.
But that was
But it
alright.
was very short.
That was very short, and I'm saying maybe this live action Obi-Wan versus Vader could be that. Okay, but even then, like, I don't think that it'll be as because they can't do what they can do in animation, so I don't know if it could be as good.
No,
as
they'd
that.
have to do it in a movie and use a lot of CG to do
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
But again, they spend a lot of money on it, so they could. When we see the Vader versus Obi-Wan, that could be pretty baller.
Speaking of Ahsoka, she is apparently going to be in Mandalorian season 3, which isn't surprising at all. And that show looks like it is. It looks like Bo-Katan is going to be maybe an antagonistic force, where it's Din Djarin going on his journey to Mandalore and trying to, cleanse himself for taking off his helmet and committing a sin. And it sort of is framing Bo-Katan to be not necessarily on his side, but maybe like an antagonistic force.
I think she's gonna be like an anti-hero type thing, where she's still gonna like.
She'll still be a good guy, but she's like, yeah, I want that saber.
That's how it's always been with the clans. Like, they always fought, and then the saber is what united them. So, I mean, I definitely see more people in more tribes, or more, not tribes, but clans.
More clans and houses. I think even in Book of Boba Fett, he was like, I want to start my own.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are just gonna contest it, and they're gonna want the saber, and he's gonna get challenged a lot more. And I'm interested to see that, but I mean, it makes sense for Bo-Katan to be like the first, because we haven't really seen a lot of the other clans, because they haven't really said like they're still alive and shit like that. But I'd definitely like to see more clans emerge and be like, okay, like, we're gonna take back Mandalore and make it our own. So that's something I'm interested in seeing, and
Yeah, seeing how the different, like, the politics of Mandalore and how each one's like, you think your clan can really get out of here.
I mean,
seeing
look,
that could be very interesting.
They're still alive. I mean, because of the whole Sabine thing and like her going back home, like, there's still plenty of people on Mandalore. There's still Mandalorians on Mandalore and on the moon as well. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, I do think that we're gonna see that weapon that Sabine made in live action, though.
We're gonna see that. I think we're gonna also fully see Mandalorian being turned to glass.
Yeah.
But I also think that they can probably. It's Star Wars. They definitely have the means. If they can turn Ilum, the Kyber crystal planet, into the not the Death Star, Starkiller base, they should have the means of being able to revamp Mandalore. It's just gonna take a while.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Ahsoka, there was a show that was announced. I think it's like Jedi Junior or some shit like that. I'll send you the title of it and the still they released, and it's basically going to be following the early life of Qui-Gon Jinn, and as a Padawan, I think of Count Dooku was his teacher. I can't remember, and following the life of young Ahsoka and. Seeing
baby Ahsoka?
Yeah, seeing the whole process of a parent giving up their child to the Jedi Order and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a very interesting thing to fill in the blanks, but I think it's also going to be in the style of the Clone Wars art, obviously. It's an animated show. I think the only thing that I can think of immediately off the bat that it would fill in is following Qui-Gon and seeing how him finding out about Sifo Dyas and potentially like the birthing of the Kaminoans being like, let's start making clones, some more clones.
So, like the backstory to how the army got created.
Yeah, and then
stuff
also
like
Qui-Gon's finding out how to
force project.
Yeah, there you go, or be a force ghost.
Yeah, look, man, what I think is,
I mean, it's Star Wars, so I think we're both gonna watch it regardless.
well, yeah, like I'm really interested to see them finish filling in the entire storyline, giving some backstory. But what I don't want to see is them inventing things out of thin air, in the sense of, yeah, like I just want them to like finish off, fill in the gaps, make the whole storyline make sense, and then go somewhere else and do something different, which is essentially what they're doing with the High Republic and the Old Republic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Taika Waititi's movie is going to be its very own, like very much separated.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I just want them to finish this off, but I don't want them to go, like, I'm fine with that show because it makes sense into the whole, how did the fucking army get here? What the fuck? And how did fucking Palpatine do it? You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see that, but I don't want to see too far back. I don't want them to keep going back and keep going back and keep going, oh, well, this is Yoda and this is this and this is that and this is this. You know, like, I'm interested to see more Dooku because of how big of a figure he was, and, you know, him turning to the dark side, which could be in that series. I'm interested to see stuff like that, but I do not want them to keep going with this storyline. I feel like the new movies that came out, they left it off on a good note, in the sense of like, this is just a cycle that's going to continue to repeat. There's always going to be a balance, and right now there's too much evil, so the light is balancing it out, and, you know, it's going to be a cycle for eons. But I don't need to see Rey anymore. I do not need to see any of that anymore. I think we understand where they were going with that, and it's essentially going to be the same movies over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only reason I'd want to see Rey is if they completely like do something. They'd have to do something really, really good with her character, because like, to me, her character is like, it's like, I have a very similar reaction to seeing Darth Maul in Phantom Menace, in the sense it's like, she's there. She's the main character of the sequel trilogy, but she doesn't really develop. She's just a character that's inserted in the show and is very powerful.
All of a sudden, she's very powerful.
Yeah.
With very little training. And, you know.
It's a force ability that they've already established in the past. Yada. But there's no character development. It's not a very compelling character to me.
And the plot's not even that good for most of the movies.
How I feel about the sequel trilogy is how I felt about Darth Maul in Phantom Menace. It's a part of Star Wars, but like Darth Maul, they have this potential to turn it into something very, very good. They just have to put in the effort, as opposed to trying to like recreate lightning in a bottle and just give one director full control and tell him to make plans for the future for episode 8, and then switch it when another director wants to do something else, and then switch it back to the director who's
like that was not it. What do you think about Darth Maul potentially being in Obi-Wan?
I don't think he's going to be in it. If he's in it, it's solely as like a post-credit scene and him being like, maybe Obi-Wan's alive and shit like that, but he should not have any
it would be the aftermath of Order 66, which we've never seen, like Darth Maul.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Aftermath.
So long as he has no interactions with Obi-Wan, I'm totally
No, I don't think so, because I mean, after, like, when Obi-Wan kills him, and I think is like the very next time.
He hadn't seen him since the Clone Wars, essentially.
Exactly. I just want to see, like, look, man, Darth Maul. That series needs to happen. Like, if they do, like, there's so many series
that
they
can Dawn series of him running the criminal enterprise that we saw him running at the end of Solo.
Yeah,
that needs to happen as soon as possible.
I mean, look, Vision needs a job. He's dead in Marvel now, so he can come back.
No, he's not. He's still alive. You don't remember WandaVision? He's still alive. White Vision.
Oh yeah. That's true. And he did technically die in what was it?
Vision
Solo.
has died way too many.
Well, he died.
times.
He died in Solo, right? Yeah, he died in Solo.
I can't remember. I think so.
Yeah.
Didn't he get blasted or something in the face or
he got stabbed or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Amelia Clark. I want to see more of her character, definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was very good.
That's what I'm saying. They have it set up. What the fuck? There's so many things that they could do with this.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in the Skywalker era they can still flesh out, and I do enjoy it. But it's the same critique as with what you said. So long as it makes sense, then yeah, go for it. But if you start doing crazy, like there was something that happened in Obi-Wan where I was like, what the happen. But the more I thought about it, I was like, actually, no, this could be very, very good for like potential stuff down the line. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm not gonna say what it was because
hey, I mean, I haven't watched yet. I've just been pretty busy, but I'll go home and watch it later. But overall, man, I'm really excited to see what Star Wars is doing, and the fact that like we haven't really gotten anything this year, like
Book of Boba Fett.
That was it.
This is the
Book
second.
of Boba Fett was.
We have 3 series this year. You gotta. What do you mean we haven't gotten it?
Obi-Wan just came out.
Obi-Wan just came out. We
had Bad Batch and Obi-Wan. That's it.
No.
Oh, Mandalorian.
Book of Boba Fett came out this year.
That was ass though. Oh yeah. See, that's why I thought it was Mandalorian. I thought it was Mandalorian because Mandalorian carried the fuck. He carried in the series.
I don't think you're wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Book of Boba Fett. Like I understood that he's setting something up, but season 1 was absolute dog. Also, there was like multiple aspects. Like that was another thing with the I think it was the Andor trailer that annoys me. Is there's guns that resemble AK-47s.
Oh no, it's just straight up an AK-47. That's the only critique I had on the trailer.
And just
took
like
me out of it.
Yeah, especially
and obviously
with the
I do know like the Imperial Stormtrooper guns are pretty much just I forgot the name of it. It's just a gun that's sawed off, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do use real guns, but they do modify them. I wish they would have put in some effort.
I mean, I think what it's going to be is a blaster that looks like an AK-47, but I'm like, that shit takes me out of it. Same thing with like
the Halo series did that stupid.
Exactly, and then in Book of Boba Fett when they do it with a wheelbarrow. You didn't see that?
I don't remember that.
And it was like the last episode, and they're like cleaning up the city and everything, and there's a dude rolling a wheelbarrow around, and I'm just like, this is not Star Wars, bro. Like he would have that shit would have been hovering. Okay, like what the like
it's a very small complaint, but it's one of the things that breaks immersion.
Yeah,
which is like
especially the AK shit. I'm like, is that an AK-40? Like when they were covering him, and then I saw him holding it, I was like, that's an AK-47, bro.
You could have at least like I was talking to one of my friends, and like he was like they could have at least took out the magazine and like maybe attached it to the top and like sawed off a part of the barrel.
Or like
that would have
got rid of the features that make it look like an AK.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I hope they fix that in post.
I mean, enough people complain about it. You best believe they will, because I think they did the same thing with the Grand Inquisitor. Is like his head was because I remember seeing a trailer and he had the little brick round head, and then I remember seeing another trailer and his head was
the
fucking
same from the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they like in post had made his head.
No, I think
better.
someone made fan art. Like fan arts were like people who are fans fixed it and made it more like the Rebels art, but it's the same thing with.
They should have thought about that when they cast somebody. Like, he has a round head, and this dude has a skinny pencil head.
It's the same thing with like Ahsoka's Linku. Like it becomes really impractical for prosthetic, and then to do that for every shot he's in and make it CG becomes real expensive, really quick. So like it's a practicality thing and like budgetary constraints.
Yeah.
Which is annoying, but Disney, I feel like you can shovel out more money.
I mean, they're making so much money anyway. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. But I mean, overall, I'm really hyped to see this upcoming Star Wars stuff, because they have some series coming out and all that. But I think this is the first time we're gonna see some really good shit. Like Bad Batch was cool, but it wasn't like, oh my god, better than Clone Wars. No. Book of Boba Fett.
That's a very high bar to try to pass out.
Exactly. Book of Boba Fett was really carried by the Mandalorian showing up, which essentially, like you said, it was Mandalorian 2.5. So this is like Obi-Wan is the first real series we got that a lot of people were really, really hyped for, that a lot of people really wanted to watch. And Andor and Ahsoka are probably the only other two that are like pretty hyped for me, that I'm like, yeah. And obviously the new Bad Batch looks good, and the video game and Ahsoka's trailer, that's a vibe. Andor, those are things I'm looking forward to. But other than that, I'm solid.
Yeah, I'm surprised we know nothing about Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, because it comes out next winter.
Probably hasn't started filming yet.
I mean, I think he's finished the script. I know he's talked about working on it, but no, they probably won't start filming until this December.
Not a lot of people have access to that stuff, dude. Like, even for me and working in the industry, it's like you get access to things once they become available. Like, you don't.
Oh yeah, no, I feel
like you gotta wait till they start filming for the leaks to start rolling out.
Oh no, I wasn't expecting any leaks. It was just like, well, yeah, because it becomes at that point thousands of people are seeing it, and Like that one dude who was just like, oh, look at me on the set of Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
Didn't give a shit about his job.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Comment down below what you guys think about, this whole Star Wars stuff coming up. Like, what do you want to see? What are you most excited for? How do you feel about the Ahsoka leak? And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.